So here we are with Corey from Warrior Soul. How are you? How's the tour going so far?
Tour's been all right. We've had some shaky deals in Ireland, but we ironed them out, and so now we're ready to start the tour for real. It was more of a warm-up thing. The Scotland dates are always amazing.
Yeah.
Playing Edinburgh and Glasgow, Bannerman's up in Edinburgh, and Ivory Blacks in Glasgow.
Oh, yeah.
It's always great. I wrote that song "She's Glaswegian" for that reason.
Really?
Yeah, because that's about the city of Glasgow, you know,
Yeah.
and how it treats you.
All right. So have you been there before? I mean,
Many times.
But not only as a band or just visiting.
Mainly as a band, but I've been up there hanging around now and again.
Oh.
It's just, it is what it is.
It has the vibe.
It sure does. They like to party up there, too.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask about the Irish show that got cancelled. What happened there? Something with the promoter and.
Yeah, it was all about the promoter. Well, the promoter wasn't promoting, and they expected more pre-sales, but nobody knew I was playing.
Really?
Yeah, and I think there are some promoters out there that will just take something on, book it out, and if word of mouth gets around in time, then they'll take the money. And if not, they'll wait 3 days before you get there and cancel. I could see, okay, if you're going to do that, that's pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
But to pull 3 shows, now we're talking real money.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Is it legal? I mean,
it's totally illegal, but, you sign contracts and whatever, but I think the best contract is the bare-knuckle contract.
So what would you recommend for younger bands, like you're looking to get booked concerts?
Look for somebody who's got a reputation as a good promoter. Don't take on any promoter, unless you know what he's done in the past.
Yeah.
Unless they're a personal friend or, you want to take a chance. Because they can pull your show the day before you're there, and you could have spent a lot of money getting set up to go out, just getting the transport over, booking the hotels. There's a lot of, getting everybody, flying people in. You can imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And
it is a lot of money. I mean, of course, you're going to make money, but, there's no reason. There's plenty of reputable promoters out there. Don't go with the first guy unless he's got a great rep or her great rep.
And what so far? What has been the reaction that you've noticed from the fans for the new material? The
new material is going down quite well. Even though the record's not really out, it's still, people have heard some of the leaked tracks that I put out, and people have been saying it sounds like Warrior Soul, and that's probably accurate considering I am Warrior Soul. So,
well, yeah.
But the songs are good, man. I don't put out crappy records.
Yeah. So what is a crappy record?
Anything Neil Diamond did in 1981 to 1990.
Good answer. Gotta shake your hand. From what I observed, you tour Europe quite a lot, like in recent years at least, in comparison to the USA. Is there a reason behind this? I mean, I believe you're residing in Europe right now, or?
I'm residing on Earth. I just don't happen to like Nazi corporate, terrorist states.
Yeah.
I don't like people that perpetrate wars on people for cash and control and ruin people's lives. I just don't hang out in countries like that. Just don't do it.
But isn't it a lot of countries that are doing that? I mean, in one way or another, they're supporting each other.
As I said, I'm living on Earth. Yeah. I'm doing my best. I don't really live anywhere.
I like that answer. I usually say it actually when people ask me, because I'm half Polish, half Cypriot.
Oh,
and
right.
I'm like, they ask me, where are you from? I'm like, I don't feel like explaining I'm from both countries, so I just say planet Earth.
That's great. I like that. I like it a lot.
Cool. So, yeah, like Warrior Soul, the band name, and Stiff Middle Finger, the new album. For me, from what I've observed, they're they're contradictory compared to the message that you're trying to pass on, which I understood. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the message.
I probably will. Go ahead.
But the message for me from your lyrics and music is mainly peace and freedom and human rights. So Warrior Soul is more aggressive with the warrior in it.
Yeah, well,
how come?
I'm aggressive about peace and freedom.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll shoot.
Yeah. So
I'm aggressive. You know, I'm aggressive for peace. I'm aggressive for making people have a fair world and for people to be treated fair, especially me. So I don't find anything wrong with being aggressive for freedom.
Yeah.
You have to be aggressive for freedom, otherwise you ain't gonna have no freedom. And I mean, I'm down with peaceful protest, you know, and I'm down. That's cool with me. But sometimes it's not going to be that peaceful. The news isn't going to cover it for you, and you know, I think it's sometimes armed resistance is a pretty good idea. But you go ahead.
Sometimes the American government, they say they fight for peace, aggressive, but then they're
they fight for oil, dude.
Yeah.
If peace equals oil, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I mean, but the United States and England and a couple other powers are, you know, the people that are running those governments from behind the scenes, the banks and the Nazis. They are trying to make the entire planet a security state,
yeah,
in perpetual war. And they don't believe a fucking word that these scumbags tell you.
Yeah.
They are Nazi scumbags, and they are going to try to wipe you out.
Yeah.
That's it. And, then, you know, you're not going to get... Listen... What do you think happened to protesters when Hitler came to power? There's only one way to get rid of these fuckers. And you know the way.
Yeah. Okay. Hence Warrior Soul.
Hence aggression.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like civil rights. This is like human complete, total domination of a planet. And who knows who is behind all of it? I mean, there could be an off-planet presence running the whole show at this point.
Yeah. There
could be a breakaway civilization that's left our planet already from technology, from Tesla, or whoever. There's so many things that we don't know, and it's anybody's guess what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And
you heard about that pyramid they found in Alaska, right?
No, actually, no.
This pyramid apparently was found after World War II when they were surveying Alaska. The Americans were finally going over and surveying.
All right.
And they got this static blocking their radio, and they didn't know what the fuck it was. So they...
Really?
Yeah, so like 50 miles to the northwest of Mount McKinley in Alaska, they found a pyramid buried that is 10 times the size of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, yeah.
Right.
And it's emitting enough power to run the North Slope of Alaska, all the state of Alaska, and Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And
so this was during the Cold War they did it, or?
Yeah, well, the beginning of the Cold War, they figured it, they found it. They tried to figure out what to do with it, I guess. Who knows what they're doing with it. But some people now on their deathbed are starting to talk about it. Their people are dead already, and their sons and daughters are saying, look, before we die, we want to let people know about this. So, anyway, back to Warsaw. There's lots of crazy crap going on.
Yeah, there is.
Hey, man. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now too. You know,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you're quite a busy man from all the records that I see, and your
art.
art.
A lot of painting as well, and that's done really well. And I still seem to be. I make more money on that these days than anything else. Yeah. But I want to do a show but I'm not sure where. Maybe in London, maybe in New York. Maybe in New York is probably more to move. But I'm going over there to America. I've got a German tour coming up. You know, it's not extensive. It's about 6 or 7 dates, and then inside Spain, I got 5 dates.
All right.
I'm going to go to Poland for the first time. It looks like.
Right.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And you know, things are cooking along. I want to do. Do you know about my band, the Stoned?
I've heard of it, but
I created it with Adam Dubin and my friend Scott Dimebagger. And
yeah.
It's I want to turn it into a musical. So
really?
Yeah, and I found somebody that might back it. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Yeah.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to do my biography.
All right.
Which I think is pretty stupid because how boring can you get? And then, I'm going to be my best friend in America. Ray Elias just got signed to Viking Press last year, and they're releasing her book in March called Harley Loco, and I'm featured extensively, unfortunately, inside it.
And I know the footnotes.
Oh, yeah. I'm in there. And I'm not the only one they use the real name of. The only one that had the guts to lay it out there. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have much to lose really, but you know, all about 1985 to 1990 in New York City. Yeah. That's where I'm coming. You know. So.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of little things bubbling. You know.
Lots of bubbles.
There's lots of bubbles. Yeah.
Well, I actually said 1985 because I didn't know Warrior Soul before that much. Actually, it was because of Wacken that I really got interested in you.
Oh.
And yeah, I read your biography that you founded the band as a bet.
Yeah.
And I mean, how come? What urged you?
Because I was pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
But
you want what happened?
Shortly.
Well, yeah. Well, Warrior Soul was my performance art name in New York. I gave up rock and roll in 1984. I said, forget this crap. I did a record with Kim Fowley out in Hollywood, and nobody was biting. It was a totally different concept. It was like large video screen. It was Zoo TV like 15 years before I did. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
In Detroit too, so people couldn't figure it out. And you know, when you're from Detroit, you got a chip on your shoulder anyway, you know. But I decided when I went to New York, okay, I'm just going to do spoken word. I'm going to do my performance by myself, right? Mm-hmm. And I couldn't be like a hip hop guy because that wasn't my scene. And the other option was to be like in a stupid rock band, right? So I was, whatever. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was just writing a lot and building these sort of sound sculptures, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did one show at the Pyramid Lounge on Avenue A in Lower East Side, and after the show, the promoter, I said, "So, you know," and this is the heaviest show I ever did, right. And it's like so depressing. Oh, you know, this like really death rock. Anyway, she goes, you know what? I go, I want to do another show. She's like, I'm not booking you unless you have a band. And I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. And I've been hearing this for like a couple months. Like, dude, get a band. You know, you need a band. You should be in a rock band. Why aren't you in a rock band? It's like, because I hate it. You know, so I go, she said that, and I go, and the way she looked at me, saying, maybe if you had a rock band, you'd be good. And I'm like, all right. I go, in 6 months, right, I will have the biggest rock band in this town. Bar none.
That happened.
In 9 months, I got signed to $500,000 with Gaffin.
Yeah.
So I was 3 months off, but
yeah,
I did pretty good. It ended up being about $1 million, but whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, so So if it wouldn't be for that bet, Warrior Soul, the band wouldn't exist.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I would have said, fuck rock and roll.
Why that? Why would you say that? I mean, why do you hate rock?
Because I'm an artist. I don't give a fuck. And, you know, the whole thing was just a joke to me, the whole thing. I mean, I was just going to do my art and, like, try to tear apart the corporate power structure any way possible.
Yeah.
And give power back to people who deserve it. Yeah. Out of the greedy hands of the corporations. You know, the CEOs of the corporations.
Yeah. The big record labels.
Well, I wanted to do something for them, of course. Yeah. I was borrowing their money. But the problem with corporations, just getting off the topic slightly, but, you know, the problem with corporations is nobody's responsible when something goes bad.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's a corporation, sorry. So they can do any illegal bullshit they want, and they don't have to pay the consequences. To incorporate was to bring people together to build bridges or build a road or something like that in your town. We need to go back to that, man. I mean, this is just crazy what these guys do.
Yeah.
Really, really crazy. Beyond. The corporation has human rights as if it's a human, but you cannot punish the human, really.
Yeah.
The people, and the money that these guys are taking, they're just printing it like, oh, dude, we are headed.
Like toilet paper.
We are headed for real trouble.
Yeah. Well, we had a warning now of the crisis and everything. So, but what do you? I wanted to ask, what do you also think about the music business? Like,
what music business?
Like the whole.
You mean
like?
Like Lady Gaga? That's the music business?
Well, there's a lot of music business in rock and roll and metal nowadays.
Oh, metal.
Or rock, and the whole scene. I mean,
I don't know what to think of it. I could care less.
I mean, because
I sell paintings. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, but do you? Because I don't know if you've seen the film Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember, like, from that scene, the editor of Cream was saying about the industry of cool?
Yes, I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
So he was saying about, you know, rock and roll being killed, you know, because there's a lot of business behind it and
of course, yeah,
behind money and
that was it was the end. The Pistols were the end.
Yeah.
And everything else after that, or whatever. I mean, you know, hats off to Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Ozzy coming back after Sabbath and you know, Judas Priest and, you know, Metallica, whatever, you know, that's all great stuff. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, that stuff's great, dude. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great bands out there. And, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. It's just there's not enough. Nobody has enough money, you know, to do anything, and you know. I'm not going to. The business of metal and the business of rock and the business of this and that are kind of separating, and I think this is kind of a divide and conquer attitude that corporations and business structures have in general. Usually, what I saw in the punk movement, right? I saw what was going on, and it was an expressive, artistic, incredible. Music meets fashion meets attitude, cultural movement. And once I saw the skinheads get a hold of it, right, it turned into a fascist, uniformed, disciplinarian, violent horror show.
Yeah.
Then I saw the same thing with metal.
Yeah?
Yeah. As soon as it turns into a boys' club only, no chicks allowed, you have to wear this, you have to look like this, and you have to only like this. Once you're in that mode, you have exclusified yourselves, and you've moved into another thing that is just, it's not progressive enough for me.
Yeah. It
all sounds the same, it all looks the same, and there's no chicks. Forget it, I'm out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the sexism among rock and roll and metal? I mean, like you said, there's no chicks.
There's no chicks. What am I going to do? What am I going to go to the bar and watch some guys with long black hair and black T-shirts, fucking, growling at each other? This is fun.
Ordering beer with a growl.
Oh yeah, drooling, whatever. I mean, drooling's cool, but where's the broad?
Yeah.
What happened to chicks and rock and roll?
Yeah, chicks are in pop. Lady Gaga, those are the chicks now.
Yeah, they're all lesbians. And who blames them? Look at this, you hairy ape men. I'm kidding, but no, it's just one thing's get narrow-minded, really. When it comes down and you have to wear the same clothes as everybody so you look cool, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And if there's no room for any creativity on any level, fashion, music, sound, lyrical content, count me fucking out, dude. I don't follow the leader. I'm not, if there was a guy named Hitler right now and I was in Germany, I wouldn't follow him. You know what I mean? I don't follow paths like that. I create my own path, and everybody's an artist in their soul, and they can stand up for themselves and become the most beautiful singer or painter or anything. Everyone has an artistic ability, and they can truly shine. Everyone can be a star, if they want to be.
Oh, it's true.
And I think I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks.